Want to be part of the stories? Join my Patreon, and I'll draw you or two characters of your choice as part of the horror universe I create. With exclusive rewards like shoutouts and custom art, you'll directly support the channel while becoming a unique part of the content. Check out the tiers and join the community today.
A few years back, I can honestly say that I had one of the most dangerous jobs. I was a pizza delivery man in Cleveland, Ohio. One night, I received an order that had special instructions to come into the house and leave the pizza on the stove. I thought that was pretty odd. I told my boss, and he said go ahead with it. I had to remind him that I've been robbed twice and shot at, but I really need the money, so I did it. I pulled up to a sketchy neighborhood. That's nothing new. I thought to myself, not again. As I walked to the door, I had an uneasy feeling. I got to the door and I saw a note, and it said, "Doors open. Take the pizza to the kitchen." I walked in and all the lights were off except for the kitchen. When I walked in and I placed the pizza on the stovetop, just something didn't feel right. I started to walk out, and I heard the door open upstairs, followed by footsteps. Someone peeked around the wall on the stairs and yelled down the stairs, and they said, "Come upstairs, I have your tip." Then out of nowhere, I heard the scream of a woman. Right after that, I heard a man tell her, "Shut up before I choke you." That was my cue to book it out of there. I got into the car and I saw a girl banging on the upstairs window along with screaming. Then a man grabbed her from behind and she disappeared out of view. When I got back to the pizza joint, I told my boss. He called the police and I quit my job. I had way too many close calls working as a pizza delivery guy in Cleveland. I've been robbed, shot at, and now this. Never again will I do that. I never asked what happened with that situation. And honestly, I don't care to know. My wife Claire and I, we were on our way to Rotterdam for the weekend to visit her family as it was her father's birthday. We live in Brussels, so the drive there took around 2 hours or so. So we left at around 9:30 p.m. because I got off late. About an hour into the drive, we decided to stop at a gas station to refuel, and we got some coffee. It was dark, cold, and pouring rain, so we didn't want to take too long. Claire went inside to get some coffee and some snacks. As I was putting gas to the car, I noticed a strange-looking man from the distance just staring at Claire as she went inside. That didn't bother me so much, but what did was how out of place he looked. He had no car or people with him. He had long, stringy hair, badly trimmed, scruffy beard, white tank top, and socks on. I thought it was crazy that it was January and freezing cold, pouring rain. Why was he here at the gas station at that time? I was thinking this guy must be out of his mind. I tried to ignore him and look away, as I wanted to avoid drawing attention to myself from this strange man as I could, but I looked back to check if he was still there because I was very much distracted and unsettled by him. And I couldn't look away for long, but he was gone. I was relieved as I didn't want him staring at my wife as she came back out. Just as I was thinking that, I heard psst behind me. It was him. The creepy guy staring at Claire was just staring at me and smiling. He looked so much worse up close. I just froze, startled, and was thrown off by his sudden appearance behind me. And then after an awkward moment of silence, he spoke. He said, "Your wife." Then he leaned closer. He smelled awful, like he hadn't bathed in months. And he said, "I want to take a bite of your wife. She looks nice and juicy." Then he grinned and smiled from ear to ear, showing his vile teeth once more. I was ready to fight, but after that he turned and walked away laughing and just talking to himself. I quickly finished putting gas into the car and I jogged into the gas station to make sure Claire was safe, and I walked her back to the car. We got back into the car and started to pull out of the station to make our way to the freeway. Just as we were leaving, I looked in the rearview mirror to see that creepy guy standing on the road in the rain just watching us, and he was laughing. I told Claire about the man in the encounter I had with him. She was just as freaked out as I was, and was glad I came inside to make sure she was safe. About a week later, we saw that same guy on the news for attacking and bodying a woman at that same gas station. Luckily, nothing happened when we went. About 10 years ago when I was 12, I would always go into the nearby woods with my friends for most of the day. One night, we left pretty late. Usually I got home before dark, but today, I knew I wouldn't make it back, and I already knew my parents would be mad at me. We were walking in a group for a few blocks, then a couple of my friends split from us to go to their house. I started to notice that a van kept driving past us. I didn't think anything of it. And then my last friend split to go to her house. I had about 5 to 10 minutes left until mine. Then I see that van again, and it pulled up right beside me and stopped. The driver rolled down the front window. Then she told me that she can't find her son and she's been looking all evening. And she asked me if I seen him. I looked and I said no. Then she asked me if I wanted to get in her van to help find him. I said no again, and I looked forward. Then she asked me, am I sure? I didn't answer and I started to walk faster. Then all of a sudden, there was some guy in her back seat that said, "Let's just fucking snatch her." I looked at the van for a split second as the woman looked in the back seat and she sped up to park on the side of the street. I started running through yards. I heard the doors open and shut on the van, but I didn't look back until I got home. Nobody followed me. I told my parents and we called the cops. I never missed curfew after that.
Want to be part of the stories? Join my Patreon, and I'll draw you or two characters of your choice as part of the horror universe I create. With exclusive rewards like shoutouts and custom art, you'll directly support the channel while becoming a unique part of the content. Check out the tiers and join the community today.